The morning sun cast long shadows through the stained glass windows of St. Michael's Church in Charleston, painting the worn wooden pews with splashes of color. Father John Callahan stood at the altar, his withered hands smoothing the edges of his well-used Bible. At 65, his face carried the gentle wrinkles of a life spent in service to others, but his eyes still sparkled with the same warmth that had drawn countless souls to his humble parish over the decades. As the last echoes of morning prayer faded from the chapel walls, John's thoughts drifted to his sister Mary. The upcoming milestone of her 60th birthday weighed heavily on his mind. She was his only remaining family, the keeper of their shared memories, and the one who had stood by him through every challenge life had presented. The modest salary from his ministry had always been enough for his simple needs, but now he yearned to give her something extraordinary. That evening, in his sparse quarters adjacent to the church, John carefully counted the savings he'd accumulated over the years. It wasn't much by New York standards, but it represented countless small sacrifices, missed meals, patched clothing, and simple living. His decision was made. He would venture to Manhattan, a city he knew only through parishioners' tales and television glimpses, to find a gift worthy of his sister's devotion. The bustling streets of New York City were a stark contrast to the peaceful lanes of Charleston. John clutched his worn overcoat tighter as he navigated through the crowd, feeling like a small boat in a vast ocean. The towering buildings seemed to touch the clouds, their glass facades reflecting the afternoon sun with an almost blinding intensity. Despite his discomfort, he pressed forward, driven by purpose and love. His attention was drawn to Harrington & Sons, its elegant storefront a testament to old-world craftsmanship melded with modern luxury. Through the spotless windows, John could see displays of jewelry that cost more than his yearly salary. For a moment, he hesitated, his hand resting on the polished brass door handle. But the memory of Mary's unwavering support throughout their lives gave him the courage to step inside. The interior of the store was hushed, the plush carpeting muffling his footsteps. Crystal chandeliers cast a warm glow over glass cases filled with precious stones and metals. As John approached one of the displays, he could feel the weight of judgmental stares from the impeccably dressed staff. His simple attire and worn shoes marked him as an outsider in this temple of luxury. Richard Davenport, the store manager, approached with a practiced smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. His perfectly tailored suit and manicured appearance created a stark contrast to John's modest presence. "Can I assist you?" he asked, his tone carrying a hint of dismissal that made John's cheeks flush with embarrassment. Before John could respond, something caught his eye, a distinctive emblem carved into a display case, a symbol that stirred long-buried memories. The sight of it sent an unexpected shiver down his spine, though he couldn't immediately place why it seemed so familiar. It was an elegant design, a combination of intricate scrollwork and what appeared to be a family crest. As Richard began to suggest, with barely concealed condescension, that perhaps John would be more comfortable in a different establishment, the priest's attention remained fixed on that mysterious symbol. Something about it called to him, whispering of connections yet to be discovered and secrets waiting to be revealed. In that moment, standing in the midst of luxury he could never afford, John had no idea that his simple quest for a birthday gift was about to uncover a story that had lain dormant for nearly a century. If this story interested you, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give it a like. Tell us which city you're watching from. Let's continue. The tension in Harrington & Sons grew palpable as John, gathering his courage, made an unexpected request. "I'd like to speak with the owner," he said quietly but firmly, his voice carrying the authority of someone used to being heard in much larger spaces. Richard's perfectly maintained composure cracked slightly, revealing a flash of annoyance beneath his professional veneer. Emma Whitmore, who had been examining a collection of vintage brooches nearby, found her attention drawn to the unfolding scene. As the daughter of a prominent historian and a student of antiquities herself, she had developed an eye for authentic moments amidst the artificial glamour of Manhattan's elite society. There was something about the priest's demeanor that spoke of genuine purpose rather than mere curiosity. William Harrington's arrival changed the atmosphere instantly. Unlike his manager's barely concealed disdain, William carried himself with the natural confidence of someone who had nothing to prove. His salt-and-pepper hair and classic suit spoke of old money, but his eyes held a sharp intelligence that missed nothing. "Father Callahan, I understand you wish to see me?" William's voice was neutral but curious. John reached into his coat pocket and withdrew a small wooden box, its surface worn smooth by years of handling. The moment he opened it, revealing an antique medallion, William's composed expression faltered. Emma, pretending to examine a nearby display case, watched as the owner's face transformed from polite interest to intense focus. The medallion John held was clearly more than just another piece of jewelry. Its design matched exactly the emblem that had caught John's attention earlier, the same symbol that adorned select pieces throughout the store. "Where did you get this?" William asked, his voice barely above a whisper. John explained how the medallion had been passed down through his family, a treasure whose significance had been lost to time but had always been treated with reverence. As he spoke, William's expression grew increasingly thoughtful. Richard, hovering nearby, seemed unusually agitated by this development. His perfectly manicured hands fidgeted with his tie clip, a nervous gesture that didn't escape Emma's notice. She had spent enough time in her father's auction house to recognize when someone was hiding something. William excused himself briefly, disappearing into the back of the store. During his absence, Emma carefully positioned herself closer to where Richard stood, pretending to examine a case of sapphire necklaces. She could hear him muttering under his breath, words that seemed to betray a deeper anxiety about the situation. When William returned, he carried a small leather-bound book and an object wrapped in velvet. The atmosphere in the store grew heavy with anticipation as he carefully unwrapped the package, revealing a medallion identical to John's in every detail. The two pieces, separated by decades and circumstances, lay side by side on the counter, their matching emblems telling a story of connection that transcended their current surroundings. Emma could contain her curiosity no longer. Her training in historical research and her natural instincts told her she was witnessing something extraordinary. Stepping forward, she introduced herself, explaining her background in antiquities and her father's connection to the auction world. William, recognizing the Whitmore name, welcomed her perspective. The leather-bound book William had brought contained records dating back to the store's founding. As they carefully turned the delicate pages, a story began to emerge. The medallions were part of a set created in 1885, marking a sacred agreement between the Harrington and Callahan families. The exact nature of this pact remained unclear, but the craftsmanship of the medallions suggested it was of profound importance. Richard's discomfort grew increasingly obvious as Emma helped piece together the historical puzzle. Her trained eye caught discrepancies in the store's more recent records, subtle alterations, and missing pages that suggested someone had attempted to obscure the medallion's true significance. William, too, noticed these irregularities, his expression darkening as he realized the extent of the manipulation. The tension reached its peak when Emma discovered a hidden compartment in the store's ancient filing system, revealing correspondence between the families that had been deliberately concealed. Richard's carefully maintained facade finally cracked. He had discovered the connection years ago, but, fearing it might diminish the store's prestigious image, had worked to keep it buried. John listened to these revelations with remarkable composure, his eyes reflecting not anger but compassion. The same spirit that had guided his decades of service to his congregation now helped him see beyond the immediate betrayal to the possibility of healing and reconciliation. William, deeply troubled by the deception within his own establishment, began to share his own family's stories, tales passed down through generations but never fully understood until now. The medallions, it seemed, were created as symbols of a promise between a wealthy jeweler and a humble immigrant who had saved his life during a terrible storm. The Harrington ancestor had vowed that his family would always remember this debt of gratitude. As the afternoon light faded through the store's elegant windows, the group found themselves drawn into an extraordinary discussion about legacy, truth, and the bonds that connect people across time and social boundaries. Emma's expertise helped authenticate the historical documents, while John's gentle wisdom provided perspective on the human elements of the story. The revelation of this long-lost connection between their families stirred something profound in both John and William. What had begun as a simple quest for a birthday gift had unveiled a tapestry of interwoven lives, hidden truths, and the enduring power of kindness. But as they continued to explore the implications of their discovery, none of them realized that the most remarkable part of their story was yet to unfold. Emma's historical expertise led her to make a stunning discovery while examining the store's archives. Behind a loose panel in the old filing cabinet, she found a yellowed envelope containing a testament written by William's great-grandfather on his deathbed. The document revealed that the Harrington fortune had been built not just on jewelry, but on a revolutionary invention created jointly by both families. The testament detailed how John's great-grandfather, a brilliant craftsman with a gift for metallurgy, had developed a unique method for strengthening precious metals while maintaining their malleability. This technique had transformed Harrington and Sons from a modest shop into an empire. However, due to the social prejudices of the time, the Callahan family's contribution had been deliberately obscured, their legacy reduced to these mysterious medallions. William, visibly shaken by this revelation, confronted Richard about his knowledge of this history. Under pressure, Richard revealed an even more shocking truth: he was distantly related to a rival jewelry family that had tried to steal the invention a century ago. His placement in the store had been calculated, part of a generations-long scheme to eventually acquire Harrington and Sons through carefully orchestrated manipulation. The tension in the room reached its peak as security footage revealed Richard secretly photographing confidential documents late at night. Emma, whose family had specialized in authenticating historical artifacts, recognized several forged documents that Richard had planted to discredit the store's legacy. The deception ran deeper than anyone had imagined. John, however, noticed something everyone else had missed. Within the medallion's intricate design was a tiny mechanism that, when properly triggered, revealed a hidden compartment. Inside lay a microfilm containing the original patent applications and technical drawings, proving beyond doubt the collaborative nature of the invention. As these revelations unfolded, William's daughter Alexandra unexpectedly arrived at the store. A corporate lawyer with a reputation for ruthless efficiency, she had been summoned by Richard without her father's knowledge. But upon hearing the story and seeing the evidence, Alexandra's professional demeanor cracked. She recognized that this discovery could reshape not just her family's legacy, but the entire narrative of American industrial innovation. The following days witnessed a flurry of activity at Harrington and Sons. Alexandra, channeling her legal expertise into a force for justice, began the painstaking process of reconstructing the true history of the company. Emma worked tirelessly alongside her, her knowledge of historical documentation proving invaluable in authenticating century-old papers and connecting scattered pieces of evidence. A breakthrough came when they discovered a hidden vault in the building's basement, its existence obscured by years of renovations. Inside, they found a treasure trove of correspondence between their ancestors, letters that painted a picture of deep friendship and shared dreams, rather than mere business partnership. These documents revealed that the original intention had been to create a joint legacy that would benefit both families for generations. William, moved by this discovery, made a decision that shocked the New York business community. He announced plans to restructure Harrington and Sons into a joint venture, officially recognizing the Callahan family's historical contribution and establishing a foundation that would provide educational opportunities for aspiring craftsmen from underprivileged backgrounds. The story attracted international media attention, not just for its elements of historical intrigue, but for its powerful message about redemption and justice. Fashion magazines and business journals clamored for interviews, while history documentarians began planning features about the family's intertwined legacy. John, maintaining his characteristic humility, suggested that the medallions be displayed in the store's entrance, serving as a reminder of the power of collaboration across social boundaries. The symbol that had once been hidden away became a mark of pride, representing the union of craftsmanship and compassion. Emma's contribution didn't go unnoticed. Her expertise and integrity had been crucial in uncovering the truth, and William offered her a position as the company's historical curator. This role would allow her to continue uncovering and preserving the rich history of both families while ensuring that future generations would understand the true story of their shared legacy. As Mary's 60th birthday approached, the celebration took on a significance far beyond what John had initially imagined. The venue was none other than the newly renovated historical wing of Harrington and Sons, where displays chronicling the family's shared history now lined the walls. The guest list included not just family and friends, but also journalists, historians, and admirers from around the world who had been touched by the story. William had insisted on creating a special piece for Mary, a modern reinterpretation of the original medallion, crafted using the century-old techniques developed by her great-grandfather. The piece combined historical significance with contemporary artistry, symbolizing the bridge between past and present that their story represented. During the celebration, Emma unveiled another surprise. Her research had uncovered a series of daguerreotypes showing the original collaboration between the families. These precious images, carefully restored, showed their ancestors working side by side in the original workshop, their faces reflecting the same spirit of cooperation that had been rekindled in the present day. Alexandra announced the establishment of the Callahan-Harrington Fellowship, a program designed to support innovative collaborations between artisans and entrepreneurs from different backgrounds. The initiative would ensure that the legacy of cooperation and mutual respect would continue to shape future generations. John, looking at his sister's joy as she celebrated surrounded by this newfound extended family, realized that his simple quest for a birthday gift had unleashed something far more precious than he could have imagined. The story of the medallions had not just united two families, but had become a symbol of hope and reconciliation in an often divided world. As the evening drew to a close, John and William stood together looking at the original medallions, now prominently displayed in a custom-designed case. The symbols that had once been shrouded in mystery now shone as beacons of truth and justice, their story a testament to the enduring power of faith, perseverance, and human connection. End of story. Dear viewers, we hope that Father John's journey has touched your hearts as deeply as it has touched ours. This tale of rediscovered connections and restored justice reminds us that sometimes the greatest treasures lie hidden in plain sight, waiting for the right moment to reveal their truth. To continue experiencing more such captivating stories, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up. We've created a special playlist of similar heartwarming tales of legacy and redemption. You'll find it linked on the left. Join our community and share your thoughts in the comments below. Every day, we bring you unique stories that explore the extraordinary possibilities within ordinary lives. Don't miss our upcoming content. Your next favorite story could be just a click away.